Inevitably, whenever we're using this kind of technology, there's a few frequently asked questions that kind of come up. The first one is the far end can't hear me. So you've connected your system to a Microsoft Teams meeting, but the person or the people on the far end can't hear you. So here's what we're going to want to look at first. Number one, the microphones on the table showcase green when unmuted and red when it's muted. We want to make sure that the microphone is green. Best way to do that is on the touch screen, there's a little microphone icon here in the bottom right. If you go ahead and touch it, the icon will have a slash line through it, and the microphone LED turned red. So we know that we're on mute right now. Nobody on the far end of this call will be able to hear us. Let's click the microphone icon, remove that slash, and just have an unmuted microphone state. You can see the microphones have turned green. Now the far end will be able to hear you. This is something that you can check and make sure that it's working properly before you move on with the call. The next thing that we get is, we can't hear the far end. And typically that means that somebody messed around with the volume settings a little bit. So what we're going to want to do with this system here specifically, there's only really one place to look. The speaker icon has a plus and a minus sign next to it. So if you hit the minus sign, you'll see that the volume will lower from 100 to 0. It's possible that someone has pushed it all the way to 0 by mistake or what have you. So for sanity's sake, hit the plus icon and check out what volume you're actually at in the room. Typically you're going to be between 60 and 80%. Okay, so make sure you're in that, and you should start hearing volume at that point. If it's not coming in, then it might be the far end is muted, that first troubleshooting section. So maybe helping them go off mute will be the right thing. The next thing with the frequently asked questions is the far end can't see me. And that has to do with the camera. There's a little icon of a camera underneath, and we're going to want to make sure that that icon does not have the slash through it. Also, looking at the camera, when in use, you'll see a little green light at the base of the camera itself, and that tells you that it's working. If you go ahead and press the camera icon, it will mute the camera, so the icon now has that slash line through it. And the camera on the bottom turns red, and it tells you it's on mute. So simply click the icon for the camera, and it'll turn from red to green, and the far end should be able to see you. So those are the type of things that we see the most when it comes to using the Microsoft Teams equipment. Can you hear me? Can you see me? And can I hear you? Outside of that, let's talk a little bit about the device mode, or the BYOD. Whenever you're using your personal device, you're probably used to using that device inside of your own office or at home or where have you. And the blurred backgrounds or the background images are very popular. And that's one of the things that we see when we come into a room. We end up using our personal device with a blurred background, and we're using it in a meeting room, so the two things don't really work well together. So first thing is I'm going to turn the system into device mode. I'm going to go ahead and connect my laptop. And you'll see that I'm running a Zoom app here just to illustrate this issue. All right, so I'm going to go to Settings and go to Video. And you can see immediately the blurred background image. This is meant for someone sitting at home within a foot and a half of the camera, and then have them in focus. So we just go to Background Effects, click on None, and that's it. Now individuals that are in a meeting using your device mode will be able to see the full conference room. And that is it. Those are some of the frequently asked questions that we get about using this technology. If you have any other issues, please don't hesitate to call your administrator, and we'll be happy to help you out.